is the Economic Development Committee's August 16th, 2023 meeting. I'm calling the meeting, it's for 5:33 in the afternoon. We have a full quorum here. Okay, so we're good to go. So first on the agenda is to approve the minutes. What we're gonna do is, again, Jonathan and, is John or Jonathan you prefer?
I feel like I'm in trouble when people call me Jonathan.
Okay.
John's good.
Okay.
I use that one a lot.
Yeah.
So, John we're not gonna be able to vote again on the minutes from the previous meeting. We're gonna only be able to vote on last month's minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Did everybody look at them?
I did.
Okay, yeah? Okay, get a motion to pass them?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Second.
Motion carry, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Did everyone get a chance to look at the agenda?
It's not that serious.
What's that?
Nothing.
Okay.
Sidebar.
Did everyone, did you get to look at the minutes?
When did you send them out?
There, you have to start getting used to going to Google Drive.
Then no,
Okay,
I did not.
okay. So minutes, agendas are all on Google Drive.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the agendas are also posted on the town website.
Okay.
And also, like this, recently, I added the recommendations that you and Katie and I worked on. That's also up there, in Google Drive. Okay? Okay. So new business, was the assignment of committee projects. Nobody had gotten back to me about what their preference was. So I had spoken to Regina about working on the FNQ, and you're gonna work with Christopher on that.
Okay.
Okay, he'll assist you with that, and I think there's some major legal things that need to be,
Yeah, you're talking about the FAQ.
yes,
Okay.
exactly, right? Okay, so you guys will be working on that together. What I wanna find out, I kinda have in my mind, you know, what the assignments are gonna be. John, do you work, like a Monday through Friday type of thing?
No.
Okay, good. So you would have a little bit of access and being able to talk to town hall, the
Yeah.
clerk's office and all that during the daytime hours?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, okay. So, my thought was to have you work on the, small business guide.
Okay.
And the small business guide is, already done.
Oh, perfect.
Ta-da, check.
Good job, John.
Thank you.
It will, however, you know, kind of need to be updated,
Okay,
okay?
yeah.
It was sent to our town clerk, not Candace, the previous town clerk, who was taking the headers off. They were kind of in a blue ombre kind of thing on the top. We wanted that removed. And also at the time that I had first done it, there was just a lot of momentum with town employees, and we didn't include any of the names at that time. We would just say administrative assistant, town administrator. I think that and I'd like everyone's opinion, we are in a stable and more permanent, so I would like Nate's name on it, Candace's name on it, and like that. So those things would have to be filled in.
Okay.
And then I would recommend, you know, maybe maybe 6 months or something, just checking in and seeing, you know, what changes there might have been. And even with some of the departments, if our inspectors bring on new things that they'd be dealing with, or, you know, something like that, you know, find out from them and include that in the small business guide. I've already made arrangements with the post office. They said that we can leave copies there.
Leave copies there.
We can leave copies here, we leave some copies in the library as well.
They're very thick.
Are they?
This isn't a one-pager.
No,
No, it's not a one-pager.
I didn't think it was.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, they're thick.
Yeah, they're
So
thick.
when you sit there and say, we leave copies here, there, and everywhere, I
I
want
think-
you to make sure you're aware of what you're
Okay.
about, what you're saying.
I definitely
Okay.
wasn't, I was thinking
I'm
maybe.
thinking just like 12 copies and the rest would go online. I mean, rather, we would also have it online. But some people just like to have that in front of them, they like to carry it with them, they're coming to talk to someone about it, they wanna have it. So I would like hard copies to be available to folks, but I don't think we need more than a dozen, and if they
yeah,
go
we
super fast,
definitely don't.
then we'll print a couple more, okay? But I'll give you, pass all the information to you, and all you really have to do is just kind of
Like 100
update that, and
pages?
that kind of
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm up for the job.
Okay,
It's more than
super.
50.
Oh,
And you can always
Big.
call me.
Don't quote me, it
Okay.
was thick. It was thick. I don't know how many pages, I'm not gonna lie, but it was thick for.
You know, I think
Yeah.
there was maybe 11, 9.
No, it seemed more than that, cause I think, maybe cause it was front and back.
Well, I've got it in here,
Okay.
actually.
I don't know, I was just like, it was way thicker than I thought it was gonna be. And it had a lot of color at the time, but I think some of that's getting removed, correct?
Yeah, and then,
Yeah.
yeah, well.
And I was like, ooh, it's gonna be expensive.
And the other thing, that, you know, we'll work on is, a cover page for it. And we'll just pick out some, you know, maybe the new sidewalks, or, you know, or,
An opportunity for things like this is both Monty Tech and Worcester County House of Corrections, trying to figure out a nice way to say jail,
Yes.
have reached out to say that they can do printing jobs, and it's pennies on the dollar versus other things.
But they won't do like 3 or
Yeah.
on demand, so that brings us back to where originally it's very vanilla, you
Yeah.
can do that. But if you're gonna start adding names and be specific, you do 100 copies and people change, now it's all like,
yeah.
now what do? You go out and cross it out or leave the typo and people have to figure that out.
Like,
So it's catch-22. Which do you rather?
But for other things too, not even just this project, like that, those options
Like a
are out there.
trifold or something,
Yeah.
yeah.
If we ever did something, they're looking for ways to get involved.
Okay. But for our first 12, we'll do them in-house.
You can do them
Okay,
in-house.
that would be great.
Fun fact, we pay per the color copy.
That's
We do-
why-
We
do
do
you
not
know-
own toner.
Yes,
We
this
get
is
a bill from
Oh, gotcha.
Kyocera.
Yeah.
why I
okay,
say it, okay?
Yeah, well, that cover page would probably be, in color, but that's all right, that's just 12 of them. I'll print them out myself.
Well, this is what I say, cause a while back,
This is what I say.
yes, this is what I say, cause there was a point in time where I had to go to Staples to go make copies, cause I was not allowed to make copies in the offices. So that has changed over
I
the
was
years
not-
and over the administrations.
I once got yelled at by Claudia.
Yes, so it depends on the administration and also the way the dollar amount works, but yeah, it totals up over time if you're gonna screw around with
Sure.
stupid stuff, you know?
You've yet to push it, so.
I
during-
haven't,
during
no,
my time,
but no, it was
Yeah.
when
We're-
people
we're
were
good.
super nickel and dime
Yeah.
and stuff, like, yeah.
Let me, just tell everybody, Regina and John, that one of the things that we went over at last meeting was remember I sent you the email with the different projects listed? We decided to prioritize them. So we picked like the top 4 that we felt needed to be dealt with sooner than the others. And the F&Q is one of them, what were we calling it? We changed the, meet and greet.
After hours.
Yeah, the meet and greet, the small business guide, and the tours. So the other thing is, that was bumped up to, you know, the first tier of priority, let's say, was the meet and greet. We talked about maybe changing that to a different after-hours type of name, after-hours name. We thought that we would do a more intimate, you know, just amongst ourselves this autumn. And then we would work with Nate and the chambers
Let's do it.
and have a big one. They need a lot of time, you know, they need a lot of notice. They're busy. We want to get some momentum, you know, in between now and then. So, in talking with Doug, after the last meeting, we thought we'd like to expand that from meet and greet to just EDC visibility, and that would be a project that Doug would do that I would work with him on. And all different kinds of, you know, of visibility. I think it's really important. So that's that's a project that we're gonna do.
Doug,
So-
go ahead.
Sorry, what do you mean by visibility, like?
Well, I mean, it's important for, you know, there are people that don't even know there's an EDC here.
Yeah,
So I'm just saying, there's other things aside from a meet and greet that, you know, we can be engaged with people, and we're gonna work on those things. And it could be things like, you know, that I've been doing for years, that's going to the events and talking to people. Katie has even more events each year. Now we've got movie night and concert nights and that kind of thing. And those are all ways to, you know, to engage. And other things, I mean, throw them out if, you know, to us, if you have any ideas of how. But, you know, that's gonna be part, so rather than it just being a meet and greet, we want, and we actually wanna have, you know, build up so where we've got a couple of them each year,
Yeah.
rather than just
The
one.
meet and greet for the businesses, the carryover,
Correct.
right? Yeah.
Correct.
One thing that I was thinking, and I was talking to John, I was talking to a couple people about the meet and greet, and it's like a great idea. I feel like people, business owners, want to be incentivized
Yes.
to attend these, right? Like,
Yeah.
yes, it's great to go and meet people and talk to people, but like, what is my business getting out of it, or what, you know, like, what am I getting out of it? That's just how people are. They want to be incentivized to attend things. Time is precious.
At the very least, it's where's my free food?
Yeah, where's my
Or-
food? So I like business raffles, like I was
Yes.
thinking of that, like anyone that attends can, like, there's a lot of stuff that we could do.
Did you and I talk about this, or did Josie and I talk about this?
I don't think we've talked about it
Okay.
yet,
We
yeah.
talked about- And you and I talked about this as well.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe having where every business brings a product
Mhm.
or a gift certificate to their service or whatever, so nobody leaves without something, but somehow it's swapped within. You know, things like, I mean, there's all kinds of things. Food is definitely a big, you know, and also entertainment, you know, if anybody knows some good drummers. But yeah, and we also should think about, and I bring it up because I think that he did have a point, Johan. He had said at one point, and he's up at Edward Jones,
Yep.
and he said,
Jahan?
what?
Jahan?
Yes,
Oh,
mhm.
okay.
What'd I call him?
Johan.
Johan. Oh, I did a
Yeah.
hard.
That's why, yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
He
that
mentioned
sounds right.
something about that he'd like to, or his suggestion, he had come to the first one and he enjoyed it, and we followed up with a business tour with him. And, he said he thought it would be a good idea if it was not just for the businesses, but for everybody. Now, that could be an incentive alone for the businesses,
Yeah.
because they might think that they would get some clients from their engagement.
And then that's what I was talking with you, with what the Greater Gardner Chamber of Commerce was looking to do in enhancing their greater nature, because a number of other entities, keep it shallow, are kind of stepping on their toes in certain regards.
Mhm.
So they're looking to do more with the Hubbardston's, Templetons, Westminster, and that's why she's been reaching out, and they have been kind of doing a little more over here. They can't throw the whole kind of basket at it, but
Right.
they would be interested in doing more, and that's a smaller group of more local people than maybe the larger chambers would be,
Okay.
so. And shoot, the food at the ribbon cutting was wonderful.
We're all back to that food.
Yeah. Well,
What, I went back for those roast beef things.
Yeah, those roast
Really
beef
good.
things were good.
Not Plainview Farm, Bellevue Farm Templeton just had an after-hours business barbecue last Friday.
whoops,
For
nice.
all their local businesses
Mhm.
through the Chamber of Commerce, so.
You know what else I heard? I told this to Nate the other day.
The shorter the better.
Barry,
Right.
Barry had a golf tournament, 92 players.
Okay.
That's pretty big. 92 players. I don't know what the event was for. Was it a charity of some kind? Was it a,
Very what, though? What do you mean, like, was it like a chamber, or?
I think it was, actually. I think it
The
was.
Stone Cow, you should see their Spartans that they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won a couple weeks ago.
No, they just had one last weekend,
Yesterday.
and then, a mutter last, maybe it was a Spartan. I don't know, I had to get through the traffic to go to the farmer's market and to set up, and it was, the whole field was full, and it was
10,000
buses.
people, they were saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Well, they had another one the week before, that was
Yes.
a different event series.
Yeah.
I went to the brewery during that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it a zoo?
Well, apparently if you go there and you say, I'm not here for the race, I just came here for beer, they let you right in and they
Oh.
actually keep parking set aside as long as you're
Okay.
not going to the
Alright.
race. It's worth keeping in mind, although I just leaked that out to the public.
Yes,
to the
good
camera,
job.
so.
Well, you should swing by and stop at the farmer's market. We got a few Hubbardston people up there, set up.
Okay. And then, Josie worked on also, really trying to, find, and get access to any, properties that are available for businesses,
For rent.
for rent.
I think the only thing available for rent is at, where the fire station and
Yeah, but you
vet's
know what happened,
office.
you know what happened with that, I mean, I did have a conversation.
Well, the
with
yoga
her.
place just moved in.
Is that why they're not there?
Well,
No.
she's not doing it anymore, her assistant.
One of, yeah,
or
one of the
her
instructors is gonna be
instructors.
is gonna take
It's-
over under a different name.
Yeah, she's up there, she's already set up, she's got Facebook and everything, website, the
Yeah.
whole 9 yards.
Yeah,
How many vacancies do they have still?
The upstairs. I'm assuming from the look of her pictures, she took the place that's on one of the ends set up
right,
on the first level for the yoga. I'm not sure if it's where Millett's used to be or where the
Yeah.
art studio thing was
right.
on the paws and claws side.
Kelly's niece,
Yes, I
Yeah,
believe so, wasn't
yeah.
it? Wasn't it like Kelly's niece or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
That did the art studio for a while there. There's still a whole upstairs. That school thing is no longer there. I don't see the board there for that. So, yeah, so the upstairs, but I don't know how viable that is, cause the elevator,
I know.
Is
and the-
not-
And the leaks, I see, I hate.
well,
that.
the
Stuff
elevator's
like
not
that.
operational, so it makes it difficult, yeah, stuff like
Yeah,
that, so.
yeah.
There's some issues.
But I did, yeah,
Again,
I know.
it is
I
what it is.
definitely wanna get in there and, and look, and I've been attempting to do that for a while.
Mhm.
And I did finally, get through to the owner, and then she had her accountant on the phone the next time, cause there is a language barrier. And I, of course, introduced myself, and the reason that I was reaching out to them was because the Gardner Chamber had, when Ryan left, he asked if I would attend and keep up. And one of the first things they asked was a list of spaces available for businesses, and I thought, I don't have anything to send back.
Yeah, that's it.
So this is why I, started calling on them, and then when I got, through, so she had the accountant on the next time, and I introduced myself and told her, we just wanna help you, perhaps we can find a way to market these places for you, the chamber has reached out to blah, 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 and at the end of the conversation, she said to me, what's your commission? Just went,
Yeah.
what? So, I knew then that it was gonna, take a little bit more than, than that, and then COVID hit. And, and really getting a hold of anybody there was difficult. But, obviously they're open to any kind of conversation because somebody's up there now. And, but I would like to get, and the other thing that I had spoken to you about was, would it be possible if, I didn't know whether there were regular, visits by the inspector into businesses. And if there was, would I be able to go in there with them and just take a look while there, just to see if these are viable spaces that we can kind of promote. And tell people, come to town, we've got some good rents, some good whatever. But, Josie will work on that and I'll help her.
I'm hesitant to allow anybody to go on inspections with an inspector due to
Legal.
legal
things.
and
Sure.
just privacy reasons. Like, people already, the general public doesn't enjoy getting inspected, so it's adding to that is,
Oh, well, I meant the empties. I meant the empties, the vacant ones.
oh,
Not the businesses. No, the vacant ones, to just go in and say, hey, this is pretty neat, it's this big, what are you asking for it, and then, let people know. Anyhow. Okay. Any comments or questions on our, assignments? No? Okay. next on the agenda was ideas from our members from the analytics that I've sent you all twice.
I looked, I researched.
Whatever I said before, I can't even remember now. It's been too long. This is what happens when it floats there too long. Like I give my answers and then I move on.
I put it out there, I asked,
Yeah.
nobody had followed up, I can't
Yeah, I
do
know.
anything else. But I think they're important enough, I think there's something to glean from them. I think there's things that we can, you know, maybe give us some ideas. I know Doug took them and put them, did you make copies?
I did. I just reorganized them. So they're
You
sorted.
reorganized
I
everything?
did. It
Oh,
just works better with my brain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So everything's sorted by
yeah, this is all the
largest
same.
from the top.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just copied everything.
Okay, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm kind of getting maybe the feeling that you haven't looked into this very much or analyzed the numbers or come up with any ideas, and the same with you, Regina?
No, I looked at this, I thought originally what you were talking about was the comparison, like between Hubbardston and the other towns, remember, we talked about that?
Yeah, but this was completely different. That's something that we were talking about.
Yeah, this was
John-
from your website, from,
Yes. But I think what she's confusing it with was what you and John and I worked on, comparisons with the other towns.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So here's what I'm gonna say, is now that everybody has this hard copy of it, I'd like you to be prepared to have a discussion about it at the next meeting, okay? This was, you know, these were done from a website that I had up, Destination Hubbardston. It was kind of a tourist website, if you will, you know, all kinds of information about whatever. And this just gives us ideas about maybe areas to focus on for some marketing.
Outdoor
Yes.
sports. Like,
Yeah, you know, all of those things.
by bit.
Are people coming here for weddings, or are they coming here to ride a bike? Are they coming to Logan Airport, or they go to Hartford? You know, if we wanna do rat cards, where would we put them? You know, that kind of thing.
How recent is this data?
This is from a while ago. This is from a while ago. It's from,
Pre-COVID.
was it pre-COVID? Might have been pre-COVID, yeah.
PC and AC.
And listen, the numbers might not be the same, but the percentage of each one hasn't changed. Because I only took the website down a short while ago, and I know that. And I have, you know, other numbers, but I ain't doing this unless anyone's paying attention to it.
Well, I think if anything has shown us kind of from COVID is people like to be outside more now. If anything, I guess, you know, they
And
just
people like to get away from the city
Yeah,
now when they're
go-
going away.
do something outdoorsy, quiet.
And they like to also be able to drive in their
Yeah.
own cars. It's just a little bit more. So we're now talking about, you know, targeting, you know, closer areas and all that. We don't have to, you know, worry about what's happening, you know, are they gonna be coming up from Florida? No, they're gonna be coming from Boston and Springfield or New York City or whatever. So if we could, because again, you know, when I had sent this off to, the, select board chair at the time, he thought that they were really valuable. And said, you know, that we might be able to, you know, generate some things from it, so. you
It's
know,
also impeccably important, and I was talking to Chris about this earlier, for the EDC and the business community in general to be a part of the conversation to utilize different areas, because it's a shame that the thousands of people that come here on Sunday do not have somewhere else to go right in that area, or something to attract those people to, hey, try out this as well, or if it's signs telling people where they could go from that area or whatever. But it's a shame that that's not utilized to have some sort of incentive for the community.
Right,
Yeah, they don't know
Agree.
where Hubbardston is, but they've been to Riata Ranch.
exactly,
So the
exactly.
EDC needs a booth with a bunch of packets and info.
Well, I know, you know, I mean, they probably, I don't even think they'd let us, you know, hand out things there. I mean, they're very good to us through
Yeah,
binders
John?
and all that. Yeah, John, he's very good. I know that, is
You
your
can-
son
you-
working
yeah,
there?
yeah, my son works there.
Okay.
But yeah, no, Rieta John is very open to
He is,
being cordial.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't, yeah, okay,
I get
let's
along
think-
with him fine,
Let's think
so.
about that, and he's, I mean, I worked with him through Lions, and he's very generous,
Yes.
he's very,
Very generous.
very generous. You know, I'm not against that at all, we just have to, before doing that, we have to figure out where we're sending y'all.
Well, that's the whole thing, is we need a place to
Go to
send
the
them.
pizza parlor, and then,
So,
you know.
yeah, and they're on vacation for a month.
Yeah, there's no place to sit or park, cause it's so busy.
Yeah.
And which is, and you know, the other thing, I'd love to find a way if we could tap into the country, the Christmas,
The tours,
yeah.
country
What is
road.
it called?
Country
Country
roads
roads, yeah.
tours.
Maybe we could put an ad in their publication. But they're coming here already to go to Sherry's Place.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah, yeah,
2, 3. Yeah, 3. Giacomo's, Plainview,
And- yeah.
and Time and Place.
exactly.
In
But
Hubbardston
maybe
on
we
the
could
trail.
put some other information, you know, give them other idea, well, okay, so Giacomo's isn't really like, you know, I mean, we can advertise the other restaurants or the diner as well, you know what I mean, which wouldn't be an.
On their tour thing,
Yes.
they will, no, it's their tour thing. That's all they advertise on there. They wouldn't, it's their tour.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So we would.
They have other food places on there as well.
Yeah, okay, not, yeah, not, okay.
And if you don't pay for your shop to be on, they're very
Right.
particular too.
Yeah, so they would
If you're
let-
out of the way,
Yeah.
you can't get on that tour because you're not gonna, cause there's been other people that have been off the path
Yeah.
and like, no, because it's too far, so it's
And
not
so,
worth
so
their-
they wouldn't allow us to maybe, you know,
Nope.
to.
You can
I guess-
ask, but I
what they
will
would
bet
say-
money,
I
the
guess
answer
what
is
they
no.
would say is if you want to promote something, have that place or whatever
Be
be
on the tour.
Yeah, be on the tour.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I guess one of my questions, and I don't want this to sound rude, since I got here, kind of, this is the Economic Development Committee. What is being done in terms of developing the area, in terms of being able to then go and promote said development to new businesses? The businesses that are here are wonderful, love them, I want to
Mhm.
definitely give them something to do, but I feel like the focus is shifting from what this was likely intended to be in the beginning by namesake, a economic development committee. So,
well, I mean, what keeps coming back to me is that's asking a little bit for, you know, the cart before the horse. If you can tell me where I can put a business, I'll spend the next 60 days trying to find a
Yeah.
business. Okay, and that's like a, you know, a big wall that I'm facing all the time,
I get it, yeah.
which is one of the reasons why I
Yeah.
thought, you know, finding those spaces, however we do that, might benefit. My understanding, and I think all of us, you know, it's to support the existing businesses, but it's also to, increase or, bring in new businesses. But that seems to be, to me, and, I mean, we can advertise what we have going on here, and that's really the outdoors and the open spaces and the trails and all of that, to appeal to tourism and that kind of thing, but for businesses,
Unless you're putting a business in your home, there's only that one building, 48 Gardner Road, that has any available rental spots that are open.
And there are a
currently.
number of initiatives going on, whether it be the agricultural and,
Trying to
But-
get those moved
yeah,
along, yeah, which
but-
started kinda here,
yeah,
and that's where,
and there are certain entities that are difficult to work with, holding back, no one's watching, the planning commission the planning commission that we work with has been relatively difficult. This town has been working on their master plans since 2017. I came in, Chris and I were able to get them to kind of shake them up a little bit, and then 4 months later, they were right back where they were, so.
yeah, the whole, trying to get through those bylaws that we need help with. It was like hitting a brick wall.
Yeah.
So, we've been kinda stalled on fixing things to make things a little better and easier for us, but originally, if you wanna go in the Wayback Machine, this EDC has taken on a few different forms. And originally it was like, oh, industrial in the sand pits, and then a certain person came in and kinda told them the reasons why that would never happen and why it would never work, so the EDC, from what I was told, kind of fell apart. And then it kind of got brought back up again, and the same thing was like, oh, we need industry, and again, where's it gonna go? We're not set up for that. So we have taken more of a path, and we've had numerous turnovers, because again, there's only so much we can do, cause there are a lot of places, but we've trying to take the stance of let's encourage the farms
Yeah.
and things like that to grow, but that's not like a 2-second turnover. This, you're talking a long term.
I mean, I can talk until I'm blue in the face about, you know, geographically and how great it is because we're by the, you know,
Tourism and everything,
the
yeah.
two corridor or whatever, and great accessibility and all that, you could live anywhere, but work, you know, have your business here. Oh,
But it takes
and
time to
I'm
build
left with the same thing.
all of that, so that's where we're kinda stuck and we need help trying to build this.
Mhm.
And some of it, the initiative is getting a few of the bylaws fixed.
And all I was trying to do was get to this conversation. if I'm
Oh, you want
honest.
this conversation? Let's rip this Band-Aid off. Okay.
I 100%, I meant no disrespect to anybody. You guys
Yeah.
are all wonderful volunteers. The EDC has been amazing to me in my first couple months here. But that was the conversation.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, where, and maybe I missed the very beginning where there was that industrial, but how do we get it water? And this isn't gonna work. And there are different.
Yeah, that's why we're at
renditions
this kind of point of
Yeah.
the ecotourism
What next?
and agrotourism that we've been on, because
Yeah.
we have to grab what we have. We don't have water, we don't have sewer, big box isn't coming, nobody wants it here anyway.
Mhm.
So what do we have that's left? We have very small business area. We have, you know, mom and pop businesses in their houses, but even that is restricted on how many parking, how many people you can have employees, and all
That
this
don't
other
live in the
stuff
house,
that goes
one and one.
along with
That's it,
that.
yeah.
So we have, again, farms and agritourism that we can.
And on the other side of that, farms in tourism were working on what can a town like Hubbardston do to be e-business friendly, to get people to file and do internet businesses the right way. There's just
Fiber.
true.
What did you say?
Fiber. Hubbardston
Yes.
needs fiber if you want to
Fiber
be business
optics.
friendly. Yeah.
High-speed internet.
Yeah.
Internet in general would be consistency, okay?
I'm working on that. Like we're
Cell phone service, you know, things like that.
The fact that every town and every single town and village in Vermont has had fiber and has fiber for years, and that it can't get done in Massachusetts towns is shameful. And
But
that's
stops in Gardner, is that correct?
I
Morristown.
think Templeton actually
They
just
have it?
got
Yeah.
fiber. A couple of the rural towns around
Yeah.
us just got it because they had actually started fiber committees. One of them, like minutes after the committee disbanded, they made a deal for fiber, which was weird, but
And it's
Yeah.
hard to get the companies, it's expensive for them to lay down new lines, so that's why they stopped. Even Google stopped,
yeah.
you know, with their Google fiber.
Yeah.
They
The other
realized-
option is sell.
Yep.
But we don't have we got some brewing, but because the things that they're doing in, you know, cities is you get a box in your house and that's your internet now from the cell service. You don't do the wires and the internet,
Yeah.
you know, like the traditional, everyone's moving towards cell service, which we don't have it. Not at all, but we have very limited at this point in time until some towers actually come to
Mhm.
fruition. So, and even that will still be difficult because we have so many valleys
Yeah.
and hills.
I'm a little shocked no one here has, what is it, Starlink? Elon Musk's internet? Yeah.
There's some people that have it, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
They did the test.
I had it briefly, but didn't like it.
You didn't like
It
it?
downloads fast, uploads slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now.
So I think, you know, I'm just gonna kind of finish up with, you know.
Sorry.
No,
Can I just say one thing before
Of
we move on,
course.
so we're just talking about it, because I know that we talked about it before, we talked about the farmer's market, and it had gone somewhere and they shut it down.
Mhm.
But like, that just gives me more incentive to try again, because we have such a huge farming community here. There's gotta be a way that we can make it work. It's something that really encompasses what our town is, and people will come here. We shouldn't have to be going to other towns to their farmers markets, like we really should have one here. So what needs to be done? I think you said that there was somebody in office that kinda shut it down, but she's gone now.
Well, that was when I was
Not-
doing it.
Yeah, not shut it down. There's a lot of rules that go along with a farmer's market. You have to have actual farmers show up.
Mm-hmm.
There's your two problems.
And there's your problem. There's your
It's a
problem.
vendor's fair kind
Correct.
of quickly.
You can't, yeah,
And
you
the fact
can't,
is,
it has to-
nobody minds going to Westminster or Barry. They really
I
don't.
do, I mind.
Well,
I wanna go to the center of town.
yeah,
And Westminster's at Friday, 3:30, so
I
it's
know,
like,
I understand that, but you know, I mean, there is a, you know, there is like a
95.
glutton of them within the area,
Right.
but it really is.
So-
Listen, I tried it
Then maybe.
live and I tried it online, and it was really just the farmers. It's just like, you know.
the
come
farmers
on.
actually have to come and set up.
That's right,
And it doesn't have to be farmers from Hubbardston. You can get other
Right.
farmers from other towns.
right.
The biggest thing is you gotta pick a time, it has to be consistent, you have to have these farmers show up consistent, and then you will slowly get the people to come.
Mhm.
And you know, I was at Farmer Rich's the other day, and Jen said that they had about 200 people over
Mhm.
the weekend.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just on his front porch.
Oh, I know,
So that's
I'm
covered.
well aware, I swing by there all the time,
And there's, you know,
get my
I
corn
mean,
there.
I know like Giacomo's goes to the Westminster one.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you have other food vendors other than farmers.
Right, he's
Yeah.
another one who said,
Yeah.
sure, and then give me your list for the, you know, to put out the menu or whatever, and it's ghost. So, but I understand, I agree, and I think
If you
there
wanna
should be
start
many.
one,
And I think there should be.
So would the first step then be, do you think, like,
you need a location.
polling the interest in farmers to see if we had one, if they would show up, if it's something that they could commit to?
Depending on the day and the time, I would.
But that's something that, I mean, are you talking about the EDC doing it, or are you talking about you doing it? If you're talking about you doing it privately, then that would be not a discussion.
Yeah, no,
Is
For us.
it not an EDC?
And we can work with you on
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I
You have a
wouldn't have,
destination to direct people to after the Glorietta.
yeah.
Right.
Well, I just.
Usually when it's a farmer's market, it's not a town thing, it's a individual.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're not,
And you
the
get
Berry
And-
Farmers
and-
Market is not, the Westminster Farmers, they're not town organizations, they're.
And the other thing is,
nonprofit.
what, you
Yeah,
know,
they're
and
all
what you're
entities.
talking about originally is that when I decided to do that and I got the space to rent and everything, had gone to the Board of Health and spoke with somebody, and
Oh,
she,
yes, that's what I was.
yeah, and she said, oh yeah, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about anything, because they're gonna have to have their certificates and whatever. And I said, okay, fine, that sounds great, and then boom, that thing. And she was completely wrong about every single thing that she told us. And, yeah, and so I had to revisit and also go to Board of Health, and also, I forget who else I had to talk to.
I don't even remember, it was too long ago.
But it was, yeah, it was a really, really messy, so I would, if that's something that you're interested in doing, just make sure that the Board of Health is on, you know, on top of things now, and the right information is given out.
I'm gonna look into that. I feel like we could even do it on our property.
You can do a lot more things on your property than you can do on public property,
Mhm.
so. And going like full-blown public, I think there are a number of beautiful places that would look nice, like even the rec field would look great with some tables and cable.
That's where it was, I think, the
Yeah.
last time, it was at the rec.
Well, look what I did, I mean, I took those trees down, we put those picnic benches in,
Yeah.
we built that fire pit and all of it, just
Yeah.
huge amount of, you know,
Well, I mean, it was
Detail going
actually
into
like
it.
up and running.
Yes.
It was at the rec field in the
Right.
parking lot.
right.
That's where you're getting the most people.
Mm-hmm.
Driving by there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, and ask around and find out what days, because if they're doing something over here, they're not gonna be able to come over here,
Mhm.
if they're doing it in a neighboring town. And I think that's really why Westminster does theirs on Fridays,
Yeah,
as
'cause you
opposed
got
to
Templeton.
Saturdays, because Saturdays are booked up.
Yeah, you got Templeton
you've got-
and
yeah.
Thursday. Gardner does theirs weird. They have theirs on a Friday morning, which I don't even understand. Theirs is brand new though. I'm like, why would you pick a Friday morning? Everybody's at work.
Yeah.
That doesn't even make any sense. And then Barry's on Saturday. Holden is Tuesday.
Holden's a weird day, yeah.
Yeah, Holden's is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Theirs is
Tuesday.
another. Theirs is but theirs is a pretty decent one. It's in the afternoon.
How do you become a farmer's market that accepts SNAP benefits?
It's the farmer itself.
Oh, okay. Because I said that may draw
Yeah.
people as well.
The farmer itself, because like, we don't take any of those like coupons, they have different ones. And we don't take them because we don't have an IEN, we're not you have to be like registered through the
Yeah.
state and all that stuff,
Yeah.
so.
Even for the farm ones that you get, like through the senior center.
Yeah, you have to be registered
One
through the
of,
state.
somebody told me recently that one of our seniors went to the Westminster market,
Mhm.
and they just said, no, we're not accepting that.
Certain, yeah, if you're not registered through the state, cause I can accept that, I can't do anything with it.
Right,
It's nothing to me.
right, it's just like, yes,
It's nothing
okay.
to me, you know, so you have to register your, you gotta be a full-on business. And then what happens is, cause I asked about it, I'm like, what are these and how do you work these? And they, one of the other farmers, like, you take them and then at the end of the season, you send them into the state and they reimburse you, but you gotta wait a while. So you're holding those checks the whole
Yeah.
summer,
Yeah.
to the end of the season, you gotta send them all in, and then you still gotta wait to be reimbursed.
Right, and if the paperwork is like,
Yeah,
god awful, I mean, really,
so it's,
how
yeah,
often
some
do you wanna
farmers,
even
especially
do
if you're
that?
smaller,
Yeah,
and you're just like selling, it's like a side hustle
Yeah.
business, like what we do, it's
Right.
just,
I know that one of the seniors is working on something similar to a farmer's market, and they're thinking about doing, delivery, which is great. Kinda can't beat that, they would just have a store, like a, menu, here's what's available, and then just, and deliver it. Yeah. Not a bad
that was a
idea
huge
either.
rabbit hole.
What's that?
Sorry, you got a sidetrack.
That's okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's it for the assignments, here we go, right, and we did the analytics, we talked about that. And so Nate at our last meeting had requested a little bit of time to talk about events/partnerships.
We kind of did, like
But you
over
weren't here.
over the course of that last conversation, one of my goals walking through the door was to establish a better relationship between town hall and the business community, and I know it used to be decent, but COVID kind of changed everything. I feel like the Economic Development Committee can be a good conduit between that and anything that it could be in the future. I also am sort of bottlenecked by a number of things, the development possibilities in the community as well as people walking through the door. Someone asked me that today and said, in your first almost year here, has anyone came and said, I want it? And I unfortunately had to say no. But, so that is something I'm willing to do. I would more, if we're gonna do it, like to bring in the partnerships with different people that will speak to these businesses about how they could grow or how they could start something, like having the Wachusett Business Incubator come in and do
I like them,
Magnus is cool.
yeah,
a-
yeah,
Just a session on this is what we're doing, because even if we have to lose someone for a little while, like even if you go out there, start your business, then come back, rent a property here and you're full-fledged, that's still a win. So, and there are grant opportunities through different entities that I would like to showcase here and have that be a partnership with the EDC. Since it's summer, my whole kind of talking to everybody has died out a little bit, but I do have a number of, hey, let's link back up in the fall with a couple of regional entities that I would like to see to fruition over the next year. So if anyone thinks of anything like that, it's even workforce training opportunities, just different. I'm connected with the commissioner of the agricultural board on the state level. I could have some reach out to her and potentially have her come down, but I do want to bring in, now that we can get together again, just have different opportunities for people to come together and learn stuff, because there's your value. if you're going to something and you can learn about grant opportunities to expand your business or places to go and get something done, that's the value that would bring someone out. But that, my ideas are currently half cooked, so. But-
And would things like pop-ups be, kind of, fit into that category as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm willing to do almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
That enhances the opportunities for people, the engagement
Mhm.
opportunities, transparency, like that's kind of
Because
my
I'm thinking,
wheelhouse.
since there's so few rentable spaces, let's say, somebody, would have to perhaps buy a building, buy a house and
Yeah.
turn it into business. Maybe they'd like the opportunity of, 6 months to kind of feel it out, test the waters or whatever, before making that investment into a property they're
It's-
gonna
yeah.
buy for.
It's also a little odd in my mind that this isn't like the antiquing capital of the world with the amount of people that come down here to rummage through people's stuff.
There
Yeah.
used to be
Like-
a lot of antique
Yeah.
stores
Yeah.
in this
Mhm.
town.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
lines right up.
Yeah, my mother had one.
Yeah.
Mary Booley had a huge one out on there on Morgan Road. There was a bunch of them.
That's awesome.
But yeah, they've, people have all
Mhm.
passed on. They're just,
Run to Brimfield, buy a bunch, bring it back, sell it.
Just reselling all the stuff.
Coming up is the 5th. Okay, any other questions or comments about,
If anyone has any ideas, I'm
yeah, we'll pass them.
still new and very eager, so I'm willing to talk about almost anything.
Good. Okay. And that's that. Okay, on the old meet and greet and the visibility, I think we talked about that a couple of minutes ago, we can, and Christopher and Nate, did you get a chance to look at the allowable uses?
Yeah, I went,
Recommendations.
I went through and looked at what you sent over, and I think it kind of jumps a little bit ahead of where we need to be at the moment, because it's essentially a proposed warrant item. I think we need to do a survey with the public. We need to take these specific items, and it might just be because this is just how you copied it, or where you got the information from other towns, why it looks like it's an amendment. But,
Okay.
But we need to put that in front of the public, because there's some stuff there that I think would be an absolute lightning rod
Mhm.
that would prevent us from making any kind of change. Like, I think drive-through in the town center would blow up.
Oh, yeah, I did take that out on the, if you look at the,
You did take that one out?
I did, yes,
Yeah.
I did. I did take that out, but after I sent it, because I was actually trying to get it to you, because I thought we were gonna do the meeting on the 3rd Wednesday of the month, a joint meeting.
So
But I did take that out.
I think there's,
Probably others as well.
there's a few things to think about here. So, we have a column of the stuff that's allowable now.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a column of the stuff that's being suggested here. And then there's essentially a column of stuff that would be in the rural opportunity overlay or zone, or however it is we're gonna end up noting that. It's gonna be an overlay, I think.
Okay.
Mark and I are expecting to have a draft on that done for the 23rd. We've set a deadline, because really that's when Mark and I have to have the next draft done, if there's any chance to get on the next town meeting.
When's our next meeting, by the way?
Late October, early November, I'm meeting with Candace and Renee to talk, Renee's the moderator, to talk.
Well, when's our next meeting?
Well, yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, that's what she was
It
asking.
depends upon what that looks like on the 23rd.
Mm.
I'll be trying to schedule one pretty quickly thereafter. Probably would schedule it as what we talked about was doing it as a joint planning board, select board, EDC meeting.
Okay.
Essentially bringing,
Everybody together.
Yeah.
That'll be a big uns, okay. That'll be fun.
to kind of talk about it, and I think the right way to do that at that time would be I'd give the presentation on the why we're doing it, using the slides from Rutland,
Okay.
and then go into what the specific changes are. And I think that does end up having to be an overlay to pass, because I think we have to exclude some places like
Yeah,
Pinecrest
Pinecrest,
and
yeah.
for it to be workable. It's against the HOA rules there anyways,
Well,
so.
yeah.
along with a couple of the other communities in town that have HOAs, home businesses are against their rules, so that to exclude those from the overlay, I think it makes it more passable, and I don't think it's not depriving anybody of rights that they don't already have, so I don't think it'll make a difference from that standpoint. But I think we kinda have to look at what's going on with that, because some of that is gonna be redundant to what's going on here. And what I see happening, and we'll get a bunch of public feedback from what goes on with the rural overlay. But we need to take some of these lists and essentially just put them out in front of the public, like, and some of it already exists, like liquor store. That pretty much already exists, it's just now differently. And some of the municipal buildings. So I guess that's a long roundabout way of saying,
You have
Wants
to
a
fine
survey.
tune, you have
I
to
think the
fine
list
tune
is a
it.
good start.
Okay.
I think we're gonna end up needing a survey.
Mhm.
I think we have a question to ask on whether we wanna wait for the survey for after the rural opportunity, which I believe will be early September.
Okay.
Because that's when that's gonna have to happen anyways, cause we would have that, to have the select board refer it to the planning board, to publicize it, to be able to put it on the warrant,
Okay,
so.
so do the ag one first and then do this one?
Yeah, you're
So
talking
there's
about
like
our,
two-
yeah,
yeah, the
I think
ag
so.
one.
I think it should be the ad hoc, our commit,
Yeah.
yeah, and then this.
Get that one done first.
Yeah, because that also affects the entire town.
Well, plus we've been
And-
working on it for 4 years.
Oh, Jesus,
Yeah.
way too long.
Well, it's something that's brand new, so there's no law to rip off.
Yeah, I know.
Although we took some stuff from Rutland, but there's
Yeah.
nobody
Yes.
to copy on a rural opportunity overlay. We are the
Right.
first one.
Okay.
So, there'll be people copying what we do, hopefully.
Yeah,
Glad I
because we're gonna
thought
have
of
it
it.
right.
Yeah, but yeah, that'll encompass the zone, and there'll be some places where, and there's some places where the recommendations in this I actually think cut back on what someone can currently do, because like hotel, motel, or other lodging
Yeah.
accommodations moved into special permit.
Yeah, cause the
Or
bed and
something.
breakfast is by right.
Correct, bed and breakfast,
Yep.
but it doesn't say bed and breakfast.
Interesting thing to also note is that a site plan can never be rejected with prejudice under mass law, but a special permit can. When you get rejected for a special permit, you can't rebrand for 2 years. But with a site site plan, you can reject it for defects and then
And
bring it
then
right back
bring
at
it
the next
back,
meeting.
as long as you fixed it.
Yep, and just keep doing that again until it passes.
We're in the beginning baby phases of looking into something along those lines.
To fix
and
the
ma-
way it's
yeah,
done.
And make this area more conceivably business friendly.
Well, just not so permit heavy, or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not permit, but a special permit is very
We have more restrictive zoning than Cambridge.
hard.
We have,
Well, it's-
we are the
but
most
it's also
restrictive, I
hard-
thought.
It's not only hard on the businesses and the people, it's also hard on the boards
Yeah.
and the town to
Yeah.
jump through all these processes
Yes.
to allow our
Yeah.
own, it's
Yeah.
like,
I
Oh.
am constantly surprised that we live in the reddest of red towns with a pretty large libertarian process and somehow ended up with the incredibly
I know.
restrictive zoning
I know.
that we have. It just,
I don't get it either.
I wasn't here in the early 2000s, so I don't know how that happened. But that's when it happened, and it is,
Yeah,
we're chipping away at it. It
I was
takes
too
some
busy
years.
having children, so I don't know.
So the thing with, and I was thinking about this while there was a lot of the earlier discussion, when you think about zoning's impact on a town, you think about a 10 to 15 year range.
Yeah.
So like if we're making a change now, it'll be sometime in the 2030s where pragmatically it really makes a difference.
Which really isn't a bad direction to take in terms of timeline, because I think part of the problem with this town is it was never beyond like 2 years. What do we need right now?
Yeah.
And there wasn't any forward
Oh,
thinking
we're
about what-
usually trying to put the fires out that we already
Yeah,
started, you know,
probably.
we're.
So I don't think it's a bad idea to look at things now from, and I think I even spoke with you about that, Regina, when you told me that you guys had children. I thought, this is great. You're definitely gonna be thinking more than 2 years down the road. You're gonna be thinking, what do my kids need when they get, a certain age or whatever. And it's kind of about time that we started thinking that way, but we just can't blow it when we're thinking that way. Cause you also don't wanna be rewriting these things all the time either.
No, you
know?
need something that's gonna hopefully have some momentum and
Yes.
go.
Yeah,
We'll have an opportunity in the 2030s to build on these solar lots, because the pilots run out.
Yay.
So yeah, my recommendation is that that's a good start, but we should pass it over till the next meeting.
Yeah, okay, sure. Do you wanna talk at all about a survey, or what you would be looking for in the what we should be, including in the survey? Do you wanna wait on that as well?
I don't think we should yet, because
Okay.
if the rural opportunity passes, as it is currently designed, the majority of the uses that you guys wrote down would be allowed,
Okay.
which I think would be the ideal situation.
Okay.
And in the opposite of what I'm usually saying and being all about the internet, if we did a survey like this in January, we could send it out with Candace's census, and then people would have more incentive to send it back because they wouldn't have to buy a stamp. Just send it
Ah.
back.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that end up being a little better in terms of return.
Would we do it both online if people chose to want it online and hard copy? Or snail
That
mail?
would be up to you. Those kind of surveys confuse the bejeez out of me just because I could take it twice, like I could.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
So where we will need help from the EDC is going to be going out and advocating for the
Mhm.
rural opportunity overlay.
Okay,
That everybody will need to go out and hustle and press the flesh and explain it to people, because it shouldn't seem scary, but often sometimes people have misunderstandings that somehow seem to spread and can sometimes make things seem scary that aren't scary. But we'll need to make sure the right information's getting out there for people.
okay. I can hardly imagine somebody not thinking that that's just a terrific.
Oh, just wait,
No.
I'm sure I'm gonna hear something and I'm just gonna be like,
I'm just,
how did you get from here to there? Just explain to me this.
Although I'm totally surprised by that sometimes, because
I-
like I never expected the ADL to pass with only 1-2 no's.
Yeah.
Like never expected that.
No.
So
Some of the votes here are wild. I've been talking with the regional trash people and the DEP. They're all a little bit hesitant to come and work with Hubbardston on anything because in 2007 or 8 the town turned down single trash hauler. So there are some crazy votes out there.
wow.
I don't know. Whatever. Again,
Well, I think this rural one is just gonna be, terrific and be of value for so many people and for so many.
you guys do know what we're
reasons,
talking about, right?
No.
That's what I was worried about. I got 3 people, I can look at their faces and I'm like, they have no idea what we're talking about.
so
Sounds
the
interesting.
Yes,
So
it is very
there
interesting.
was
About
something-
5 years ago, we had talked about ways to help the different farms and to have some accessory uses on their property. And so I contacted Rutland town clerk and spoke to them and got information on the bylaw that they created for that. And we kind of used that as a template. I talked to Alice, who was the chair of the planning board at the time. And she had talked to me about a couple of benchmark towns to maybe look at, as well. And so that was we were trying to be creative in ways to assist our farmers. We're a farm to right community, right? And so whether it was allow you to have weddings on your property, to have vendor days on your property, whatever it was. I mean, these are all things that we were, started, to look into. And worked, Rutland was very great about it. They were, and then we kind of passed it over to the planning board, let's say, to further it. I mean, we could only go so far with it, to come up with the idea, to come up with that template, if you will, from Rutland. And it's great. And so some of the things, like one of the things that we first had to determine was, do we do it on that your accessory business can't make more than your original farming business. That was one way to look at it, right? Another way was to look at the percentage that of allowable space on the acreage itself, on the property itself. And those were the really, that was kind of it before it, got passed on.
Yeah, so basically it's allowing farms to do more than farming
Than
on
the
their farm.
farming, yeah, to have
So,
other.
to expand the business to hopefully grow a
Supplement and
business on top of
supplement their
the farm.
incomes as well.
Because a Schedule F farm, which is a licensed farm, cannot currently as is make more money doing something else than their farm.
So there, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like
Or,
doing.
or above a certain, like there's
Yeah.
there's a level.
Is that per town bylaws or is that chapter 60?
That's big bucket list.
Yeah.
So,
Am I correct in that, or is it town?
It's not an accessory use if
Yeah.
it's more than 50%.
Yeah.
so think about, you put a corn maze on a farm. If you do it right, that's gonna make more than selling hay or corn.
Right.
If you, like, look at Stone Cow, for example, you plop a brewery on there, and if you do it right, it's gonna make more. If you do a wedding
A
venue.
wedding venue, sure.
Something, like, there's a lot of things you can do on a farm, cause you have the land and the space, and you have, this beautiful backdrop that you can use for everything from teaching to museums to outdoor recreation, all kinds of stuff. But if you make it that, if it says you can't make more than this, and a farm is very hard, as you guys have farm animals and stuff, it's like there's no, people work their farm and they still have 2 jobs to work, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, you gotta have money coming in
Everything
somewhere
to stay on
else.
the wall.
So in order to keep our farms going and to help them, we're trying to give them other ways to make money, to try, so that way all this big bulk land doesn't
Right.
get broken up and sold for house lots like what happened in like Rutland.
Mhm.
Or also, maybe some of these lots will come back into farm, because
Right.
there's a bunch of them that have not farmed, they've kind of gone to the wayside. The house is still there, the barn's still there, but it's all wooded. Maybe the next generation's like, hey, this town will let us do X, Y, and Z if we do the farm. So maybe,
And Rutland actually did it on the monetary. They didn't do it by the space, they did it on the monetary. And I misspoke when I said it went over to the planning board. We created an ad hoc committee to further it, sorry.
Then we got a small grant to have the technical assistance from that MRPC group, and now
That
we're
group.
that group.
And so now it's ready to go.
ready to word.
Close.
Ish.
There's one
Almost there, so
more
close.
very challenging thing to figure out.
Is it the parking? No.
Yeah, oh Jesus,
We're just skipping that for now, we'll take care
Yeah,
of it.
no, I know.
becomes a problem.
Yeah. But it's a great, it's a great idea. It'll be terrific, of value to the farms. And there's so many things, and it can generate so many different, avenues of additional incomes for them. And that's great. That's what they need. I don't know really any of the farms here that are really, really, making-
Chomping at the bit to
Yeah.
go wild, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you know what I mean? It's like, if people are
By my,
creative and want to
Yeah.
push it,
by my count, there's 3 or 4 people who are gonna take advantage of it,
Yeah,
like,
and
the
try to-
day after it
Oh,
passes.
heck yeah.
but it's
Oh, yeah,
still, it's not like an
absolutely.
overnight flip the
Yeah.
switch and like all of a sudden there's like a brewery sitting there or a wedding venue, or, you know what I mean?
But there
It's-
could be, the
Well,
opportunities there.
yeah, but it's not,
Absolutely.
it's, no matter what, it's gonna take a little while to jump through the hoops of getting built.
Mhm.
Cause you gotta have the money, even if you had the money, you still gotta go through the process and build it.
Mhm.
None of that happens overnight.
Mhm.
So it will still be a process, but the process, we're trying to make the process there and available to do.
Right.
is
And
what
to
I'm
bring
saying.
it full circle, after it passes, we can use this committee to economically develop and tell them about the bylaw.
Yes.
Grants,
And, yeah,
we can give grants.
yeah,
There you
could
go.
look into grants.
Yeah.
There it is, that's the,
All right, well, before we close out the meeting, Nate brought to my attention that we're overdue for a reorganization. So we're gonna do that tonight. and somebody else is gonna handle it.
Nate's gonna handle it,
All right,
since he's,
thank you for reorganizing this evening. Is there anybody, I will now open the motions for chair. Are there any motions for chair?
I'm supposed to,
Nominate Whitney Freiberg.
I know,
There's been
is
a
she
nom-
still gonna be
there-
it, or, cause I don't want it?
There's been a nomination for Whitney Freiberg. Is there a second?
I will second that.
The nomination has been seconded. Are there any other nominations for chair? Are there any other nominations for chair? I will close the nominations for chair. All in favor of electing Whitney Freiberg, Chair of the Economic Development Committee for the fiscal year 2024, please say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Madam Chair. You can run the vote
Like,
now.
Yes, there you go.
okay, now,
Everybody else not it.
we should do nominations for secretary
And Vice Chair.
and vice chair. We never had vice chair. Do you wanna do vice chair?
Oh, look at me, you're the chair.
Maybe make John, Regina, or Josie a vice chair in order to show them your ways.
That's a huge
That's
mistake.
I
That is not even.
I don't even know. I hope nobody's watching this video. That was weird.
Well, is there anyone interested in, well, is that the way you do, is there anyone interested in vice chair?
Yeah, I will do it.
I would like to nominate. This one said yes. Do you want to do it too?
I would, and I would second.
Here's your second.
For-
No,
Who wants to be vice chair? Raise your hand. This one said they would do it. Would you do it? Or no?
No, just
You're
do
not
it, so,
interested?
you're not interested?
Okay, so
No.
then I'm gonna
Vice
nominate
chair.
Regina for
Okay.
vice chair, cause she said she was interested and this one says no, so therefore that one's it.
Second.
Let her have it.
You are it, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna be taking notes.
All in favor, say,
Aye.
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 Alright, who's secretary?
Abstain, I don't know.
Crap. Wasn't Josie wanting to be secretary? I nominate
No.
Josie, she's not here
But
to
I
be
don't think, I don't
secretary.
think you're allowed to nominate someone who's not present.
Wanna bet?
No,
I'm pretty sure you can.
I'm
You
pretty
can.
sure you
That's-
can.
Put her on the phone.
Okay,
That's
well,
like the fun
I
of
will just say though,
nominations.
she was nice enough to volunteer to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I should throw her in, I could text her real fast. but-
I think we
Technically,
should
she
just
should accept the nomination.
throw her in and she can deny it next time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would nominate Josie Ewert as secretary.
Yeah, I will second that.
Okay, all in favor?
I,
All right,
yeah, she can reject it
Yeah,
next time if
just-
she really doesn't wanna do it.
okay, fine, okay.
I hope she sees this.
Hi, Josie.
Yeah, no kidding. Hi Josie, you're welcome.
Okay. I think that's the end of the meeting, right?
Can I have a
Motion to
mo-
it.
Oh,
Can
pardon
I
me,
have a
that's-
moment to shamelessly plug something
and
else?
I have to say something as well, yes.
I would like to shamelessly plug the fact that I'm looking for members to be part of the structural deficit working group. I made a presentation to the select board 2 weeks ago, talking about some of the financial struggles that the town is having, especially whereas we cannot solve some of these in the long term strictly by taxation. So I was looking to put together a working group of 4, I believe it's 4 residents to work with some of the financial departments in town hall to come up with a proposal to make to the select board to either move forward on something like a Proposition 2.5 or say, hey, maybe we'll do this next year. But I feel that by having different people from the town involved in it, it kind of roots the proposal instead of just being written by professionals who are trying to solve a mathematic equation and just do that. So if anyone knows anyone interested, I was looking for someone with public safety or municipal background, someone with marketing has a background and someone that has a child in the Quabbin Regional School District. So that's my shameless plug. And the line's not long. So
You're in.
Okay, I'll keep my, ears and eyes on that. I thought that you also specifically wanted someone from EDC as well.
sure.
Yeah.
I think I might have said with a business background
Okay.
as well. I don't have the paper in front of me.
Okay.
It could change too.
Okay. Also, I ran into a couple of folks when they were coming for their, historical commission meeting over the weekend. And, I think Susan Wood is her name, Susan?
Worth.
Worth, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Susan Worth, thank you. So they are planning a, garden tour in 2024, June 2024.
That's the historical committee, not commission.
Oh, sorry,
That's okay.
historical, yeah, and not the,
Yeah.
didn't wanna mix up this.
Yeah, I know, there's two, it gets
Yeah,
confusing.
and the historical, building down on,
Yeah.
And so, they're doing that garden tour, and she wanted the EDC's assistance in maybe, locating some, gardens to put on that tour. It's gonna be next June, 2024. Spoke to, Doug already, and he mentioned
Yeah, Malone Road,
Malone Road.
that area.
Mhm.
Yeah, if anybody can think of some, nice gardens that would, and it's just garden, it's not, in, homes or anything, in interiors. But if anyone can think of some really nice, gardens to put on that tour to help them out, that would be great. And just let me know and I'll get that information to her. I would love if that children's garden were, that would have just been such a.
They're working on it
I
again.
know they are.
Yeah.
It's so great to have that included.
Yeah, they're working on it. I would like to say, I did have, cause I go down in, most of the businesses know me in the area rather well. And I was in there a few times and,
And where?
in the businesses in Hubbardston, and they were having a hard time. I did speak to Nate about this. They were having a hard time with the traffic
Yeah.
down there, and some of them were suffering, especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
They were a little bit disappointed that I was the only face they saw repeatedly down there.
I'm there every day. Every day. But okay.
I'm just repeating what
Yeah.
a few of them have said to me. And I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, cause I'm not saying just EDC, just in general. They were hoping for a little more help and wished they had a little more help while there has been so much traffic down there.
Are you talking about the center?
Yeah, the
down?
center, because of the
okay.
stopping and all the construction and
Yeah.
the detours and the digging and everything else. Some of the businesses have been having a little bit of a struggle because their parking lots people have been avoiding the center of town.
Mhm.
And they've been having a little bit of a struggle. So I did talk to Nate, and we did end up putting a post out, and I shared it on the EDC page, and I tagged the businesses in there and stuff. And they did see that, and they did appreciate it. A few of them actually, thanked me for that. But the whole fact is that if you do stop in there, my suggestion is introduce yourself personally to them and just let them know that you are, you are a town, like you sit on the EDC, you sit on planning, you sit on whatever. And I would stress that to the rest of the boards and the committees too, if anyone else is watching on here. Just because of the fact that we don't have a lot of small businesses, and the town center project is making them struggle a little bit from the hard time that people are trying to avoid. To my knowledge, it has gotten a little bit better, but it's still,
Well, that's even
Is
when
it
that's when I went
back
down
to normal, and it
I
won't be
got
back to
the
normal for a
menu
while.
from the diner
Mhm.
and came back and said, and it had been posted. I mean, I'd been down there talking to them and I said, let me have that information so I could get that out there right away.
Yeah.
And I know that was done.
Yeah.
I know that you put it on the Facebook pages and all
Yeah.
that, so.
but I'm just saying, they appreciate a friendly face stopping in and chatting with them, even if you aren't necessarily in there to go have, by the world, it's just the whole fact of, even if you
Sure.
know, are stopping in just to get like a lotto ticket or gas or something or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just to say hi and, you know, make yourself a little bit known. You know, I'm just trying to help them drive people back down there, so anyone that's listening, go stop in at any of the businesses.
I'm gonna go there right now.
Yes, hey, whatever, go for it.
And introduce yourself.
Yes, yeah. They're all a bunch of, they are all very nice people down there, you know, I've met pretty much most of them. Some of them I don't know their first names, especially like the clerks and stuff in all the stores, but I know
Well,
a
there's
bunch of them.
Kathy and there's
Yeah.
Chris and there's Peter
Yeah.
and I know them all.
Yeah,
and they're all
and on the
fine.
other side, I don't know all their first names, but I've
Yeah.
been in there enough
Yeah.
for both of them
Yeah.
to, you know, and the same with Giacomo's and the diner and Dawn down there at the Hair
Mhm.
For You and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And even the bank and stuff, they've noticed that even the bank is like, yeah, it's rough. So, which granted, it's a bank, so, you know, it's like,
I'd
Yeah,
say
but-
it's harder to turn there than it is to actually get into like the package store and
Yeah.
Giacomo's and.
that's what I mean, it's like,
I've
it's,
not gone to the bank a
Yeah.
few times.
yeah, then that's what I mean. But the bank has other branches, so
Well, I
it's
know
not.
that also, a couple of the businesses have also talked to me about the concerns about the end result of this.
Mhm.
The Hubbardston Market said that they don't think that their trucks are gonna be able to make the turns.
I made a call on that today,
Okay,
so.
and I have been talking to these places.
I reached out
Yes.
to the engineers talking about Lowell Road and the taking a left turn into Giacomo's and all that, and then just for those watching at home and for those here, they aren't 11-foot sidewalks, they're shared pathways, so the bike lane is on the sidewalk.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
a lot of people are just like, why are these the biggest sidewalks in the
Yeah,
world?
it's the same, yeah, it's like the underneath the rotary over there
Yeah.
by Burger King, it's a bike path slash sidewalk.
Is there a separation between sidewalk and it's just one?
Nope, it's
Okay.
all big
Yeah.
one wide, yeah, it's not two.
And it's,
Yeah.
and it's very much going like this now. You know, there's gonna be ramps, everybody's
So it
yard
doesn't
has
match
a ramp.
the picture that we have on the website, that the original rendition that they had, which was an actual bike path with painted lines on the, in the road, so that
Yeah.
changed, yeah.
And now the concrete is so high that many of the houses along Main Street have to have ramps from their path up to the sidewalk.
This
And
is
they're-
also not the end.
No,
There's
this is
gonna
not the final coat.
Yeah, there's gonna be another.
There's
coat.
another coat of tar that's going down. So it's not, that's why
I
the curbs
swear-
are so high,
I saw one of the neighbors and he was out
Yeah.
there and he was doing his own measuring. I swear,
yeah,
I thought he was pounding in the stake that had the
No.
line of where the concrete, I thought he was trying to get it lower, and I was like, you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
He said, no, I'm just putting some string out here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not the final
Cause it looked
coat.
like it was gonna be like up to your knees, you
Yeah.
know?
I'm willing to
That's
say
beautiful.
that the worst part is likely over.
I think
Yeah.
it is
So,
too,
yeah,
but
you-
still, there's only so much revenue for these small businesses
Sure.
in our town, and if they
Sure.
had a whole month of kinda shitty, and now they're gonna have a second month of, it's still not great,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
hard to recover.
Well, it's not gonna end till next summer.
Exactly,
Next-
well,
yeah.
I mean, they're not gonna be doing anything over the winter,
True.
but
Right.
that's not the point. The point is this 1 month of
Yep.
very hard, that's a lot to take for a small business,
right,
you know, it's difficult.
sure.
Cause you
That's-
still, rent isn't going, you know, insurance and not, you know, utilities, none of that gave up. That's still all there.
That's right.
In a
That's right.
similar vein, do your children attend this school? As they get ready for morning drop off and afternoon pickup? 'Cause
your kids on
I think one of the blessings was that, believe it or not, that those lotteries were so high
Yeah,
that people were, I mean,
Stopping
even
it.
I was playing them, and I don't ever play them, but when it got to like 900 million, I'm like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And so that did, you know, people, they're diehards, they're gonna go in and buy those tickets, so I remember saying, oh, this is good timing for them to be super high, cause everybody's.
yeah, but if they
getting
buy a
them.
lotto ticket, what does the store get from that?
No, I'm just saying, well, I mean, I go in and get a ticket and I always get 4 or 5 other
Some
things.
people do, I don't,
Yeah.
I just go and get a ticket.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, I did that on my way here.
Yeah,
I'll spend my $2, that's my $2
Yeah,
splurge.
yeah, yeah.
We braved the traffic for the ice cream, so.
Yeah. So, alright,
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to
Second.
adjourn, all, well, yeah. 6:50.
All in favor, aye?
All in favor.
Okay.
Alright.
Actually,